Hey. Hey, I need a new roommate. Please let me know if someone's moving. What's up, is a culture detective here investigating your favorite animes. And today my nose is hurting. But also I'm going to be talking about an anime that I finished watching yesterday, and that anime is Eromanga Sensei, which is based off of a light novel written by Fushimi Tsukasa, and then in 2017 it is adapted into an anime by A1 Pictures. Uh, yeah, lately I've been seeing a lot of very good animes, and once in a while I try to balance it out by watching something bad, you know? Watching good movies and good media is important, but sometimes you just need to balance it out with something terrible. And so I thought, well, Eromanga Sensei is, it seems bad. People are saying that it's bad, so I mean, gotta watch it. So this anime is written by Fushimi Tsukasa, who is also the same light novelist of Oreimo, or in long, Ore no imoto ga konna ni kawaii wake ga nai, or my little sister cannot be this cute. And it is also turned into an anime in the early 2010s. I actually watched and reviewed that anime a whole year ago, and not gonna lie, it's not that bad. Hate me if you will, cancel me if you will, but Oremo is genuinely not that bad. I went into the anime thinking that it's gonna be incest trash, but surprisingly, there's nothing incestuous about Oremo. It's actually about uh, an older brother who takes care. Oh, what's happening? Okay. It's about an older brother who takes care of his little sister, who is an otaku. You know, she enjoys anime and manga and games and all that nerdy stuff. And so his brother encourages his sister to pursue her interests and make friends from that. And it actually became a pretty heartwarming, fun little anime with some occasional emotional moments that I totally did not expect. But after the release of Oremo, for some reason, there's a lot of backlash. A lot of fans went into Oremo expecting incest trash. So the writer saw that and was like, don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. And it's definitely guys. Don't worry, guys. I got this. I got your back. I'm going to write something even worse. So, flash forward to 2017, we have Eromanga Sensei, which is a pretty similar anime at first glance. It is about a brother who is a light novel writer, and he's like a high school student. Of course, he is. And turns out his little sister, stepsister, may I remind you, is a lewd artist who draws lewd drawings, and she's a middle schooler, or if you're Japanese, junior high. And As it turns out, there is a secret anonymous person on the internet called Eromanga Sensei who's been helping our main character drawing lewd drawings for his work. As it turns out, the little sister is Eromanga Sensei. Crazy coincidence. And that is basically what happened on episode 1. And when I watched episode 1, I honestly thought it's not that bad. Now, hear me out. On episode 1, none of the stupid incest shit happened. And it's just a brother reconciling with the fact that his little stepsister is actually a lewd artist. And I thought this strange circumstance would make for some interesting interactions, and themes like juggling between a work relationship and a family relationship makes for some good sitcom situational comedy. I also thought that the art style is not too bad. Like, it's not like the coloring is terrible. It's not like the animation is that terrible or anything. It's still passable. It's okay. So after episode 1, I thought, what if it's like Oremo? And I somehow kind of like it. Oh boy, was I wrong. Because after episode 1, all that potential is completely thrown out the window. And the next 11 episodes of this show turns into pure, unfiltered garbage. So instead of developing characters and creating interesting, funny, heartfelt moments like Oremo, this entire show is just a bunch of young, underage girls who magically like the main character for no reason, and they're all otakus. They are all into mangas and animes and light novels and games and all that stuff. And it's insane actually. Cuz every episode is just a guy who's a high schooler surrounded by a bunch of junior high and high school girls and underage girls, and it's just nonstop screaming and like, and that's it. It's actually very obnoxious, and it's hilarious because we don't have a single other male character until episode 8, and even after he's introduced, he does nothing but existing. Yeah, this anime is surprisingly boring. I didn't know that this is going to be this boring. And anime is rarely boring for me because obviously a lot of anime stories that get adapted into animes in the beginning are usually pretty fast paced. But no, Eromanga Sensei is fucking boring. We are limited in both space and characters. We keep being in the same few locations again and again and again, and nothing's changed, right? We are in the main character's house, where he and his stepsister have an awkward interaction for the 32nd time. Or we are in somebody else's house, or we are in the office where the light novel woman talks about light novels, or we have the beach. Of course, every time we in every anime we have a beach, and then like these are the locations we remember. I remember. I think there's one episode. I believe it's episode 9 or something. We suddenly have 2 new locations. I was like, whoa, this is refreshing. And then again, the characters, they're all the same. They don't change. They're all caricatures. There's this elf girl, Yamada Elf. She's so annoying. Every single line is just her like saying it in the most obnoxious voice possible. And then there's a tsundere who acts kind of angry and mean, but is actually in love with the main character. And of course, the stepsister is in love with the main character. And another girl shows up, and another girl is also in love with the main character. And everyone's in love with the main character for no reason. The scenes are so slow as well. One scene can last 10 minutes long. There are art house films out there with scenes of shorter lengths. There's no point in having scenes this long. Another problem with this anime is that it dumbs down the art of writing and storytelling. This anime makes the act of writing as if it's just a bunch of underage teenagers brainstorming ideas and then typing it out on a laptop, bloop bloop, and then boom, light novel, fame and success. But as someone who is into filmmaking and screenwriting, I can reassure you 100% that writing stories and being a writer is at least 1,000, if not 1,000,000 times harder, and involves a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And it's actually depressing out there. And seeing an anime depict writing as if it's like an easy thing where you can just, ooh, I'm gonna write a silly rom-com, bloop, 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 and then the next day it gets published. It's so silly and it's not funny at all. And that's another thing with this anime, is that it's very pro otaku. We have finally come from Welcome to the NHK, which is super anti-otaku, to this. Very pro-otaku. This anime applauds people for being into anime and manga and games and light novels and body pillows. But Oremo worked again because it's about accepting what you like and being true to yourself. But Eromanga Sensei, on the other hand, is just a degeneracy competition. On episode 11, there is actually an attempt at making a flashback where something interesting could have happened. Like, it starts off with the stepsister character, Sagiri, being young, and then the main character, he's young too. And, oh, maybe one of their parents had a car crash, or like there's some trauma there. Like, no, none of that happened. It was not explained at all. And yes, there's also the romantic elements, which is so out of touch reality. It's honestly impressive. There's also another moment near the end of the anime where the character of Megumin, I think it's her name, gets sexually harassed by Sagiri, who is the younger sister, the stepsister. And then the moment Sagiri reveals her identity, Megumi immediately forgives her. Like, I get it, she's just a small, cute girl who seems like she can do no harm, but you do have to realize that in actuality, in real life, it doesn't matter who is the aggressor. The experience itself will fucking traumatize you and, like, ruin you. And so seeing scenes like this again makes me feel like it's so unreal. It's actually like wrong. It actually feels wrong. And it's interesting because my favorite anime of all times as of now is the Monogatari series, which is also about a high school guy who's surrounded by girls. And there's also a harem. But what makes Monogatari series completely night and day difference with Eromanga Sensei is that it's incredibly visually interesting. Characters are actually deep and interesting. The themes are hard hitting, and the story actually satirizes the harem genre. And also, no incest. I maybe, but still, night and day difference. So yeah, Eromanga Sensei, it's probably the worst anime I've seen. I was gonna give it a 2 out of 10, but then I thought that it's actually very generous. So I'm just gonna give it like a decent to strong 1 out of 10. So have you watched Eromanga Sensei? Comments below, let me know. Subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching.